Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Money, Real Business podcast. I'm Lauren, and today we have Shelby on the show, who's selling an Amazon FBA business on the Empire Flippers marketplace. Hey Shelby, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to come on the show. I'm really looking forward to learning more about your business. But before we dive in, I'm going to go over a brief summary of the business. This is an Amazon FBA business created in February 2018 in the food and beverages niche. The average revenue for the business is $15,655 per month, and it makes an average of $3,397 per month in net profit. The assets included with the business are an Amazon Seller Central account with 35 SKUs, a domain and all site content and files, a Facebook account, a trademark, and supplier relationships. Please note that inventory is not normally included in the list price, but further details can be provided to active buyers. For everyone listening, you can visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 60301 to learn more about this business. Or you can unlock this listing to start your due diligence if you're interested in purchasing this asset. So, Shelby, now that we know more about your business, let's hear from you. Can you fill us in on your background in starting and running online businesses?
Absolutely. So I consider myself a marketer at heart. I've actually been in the digital marketing world for the past 17 or 18 years, with most recently having a job with a digital marketing agency here in South Florida in the United States. And I've been specifically in the e-commerce world for about the last 10 to 11 years. I've done a lot of different things in the e-commerce world, first starting with dropship type businesses. And what I began to learn throughout that process is that I believe the future is really in differentiated products. And so that kind of led me to build the brand that we're here talking about today. I love the e-commerce world. It's been a lot of fun for me, and it's been exciting to build a few different brands, this one being one that I'm super passionate about and had fun building. And so this business being on Amazon has created a lot of opportunities for me to build a brand that I enjoy working with, and has also brought some freedom in my life. It actually was one of the brands that helped me step away from full-time work and focus on building e-commerce brands full-time. So I've enjoyed it. I've done a lot of different things in the e-commerce world over the last decade or so, and this one has certainly been a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you've been on quite a journey. As you say, you've experimented with a couple of different business models within e-commerce, like drop shipping. What attracted you to Amazon FBA?
I love Amazon FBA most specifically for the reason for the opportunity to scale a business. Like I had mentioned, when I first started building this brand specifically, I was actually employed full-time. So I was looking for opportunities to create an efficient operational business, and Amazon FBA really fits that mold exactly. Essentially, you can develop products and do a lot of the legwork up front in terms of developing supplier relationships, the products themselves. But once you have that established, the Amazon marketplace and the FBA opportunities really help you scale with somewhat, I'll say, limited involvement, in that after the initial first stages of the brand building have been developed, you can optimize the operations so that the products are produced by the supplier and then they're simply shipped into Amazon FBA at bulk. And clearly, FBA handles much of the process from there on out in terms of warehousing, shipping to customers, managing the returns, and other things like that. So the opportunity for scale is big, and also the opportunity to run an efficient business is really exciting with Amazon FBA.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fantastic point. Amazon doing the fulfillment for the seller definitely is a big draw card. What inspired you to sell these specific products?
It's actually something that both myself and my wife have been interested in. It's essentially in the wine theme gifts and home decor and kitchen items. And so both my wife and I have enjoyed drinking wine for quite some time. So it's a fun niche to be in. It's also an interesting brand, I think, because the products are differentiated by an element of design, which I really feel is one of the largest opportunities for scaling a brand on Amazon, because you can create a product that is clearly different from others on the marketplace. And so it's really the combination of those two elements of developing a brand and something that I'm interested in and like, but also has that design element that differentiates it and makes it unique. And so that's what kind of got me into developing this brand.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, when you talk about your products, it's clear that you have a passion for them. Why have you decided to sell the business now?
So this was actually one of the first brands that I started developing 4 to 5 years ago. And over the last few years, I've developed other brands. And right now, I'm currently operating 5 different brands on Amazon, each in different niches. And what I've learned about myself is that I really enjoy the thrill and the excitement of starting new brands. And I really had the opportunity to do that in the last few years, because as the brands that I operate have grown, more of my time, energy, and effort has been focused on operating and scaling those brands. And I have recently reignited my interest and my excitement to start something new from scratch. And so this being one of the first brands that I developed, it just kind of seems natural that, although it's been a lot of fun, I think it's time to find a new owner for this brand and then free up my time and energy to focus on some of my other brands, in addition to potentially starting something new from scratch.
Yeah, it'll be good to clear your plate and try something new. It's very exciting. Looking back on your journey with this business, what would you say was your biggest win since starting the business?
So because this is one of the first brands that I developed, I have a few distinct memories of launching products on Amazon, them doing really well, really quickly. One of the first items that we launched 4 or 5 years ago, within the first week or two of launching on Amazon, Amazon had tagged it as one of the category best new launches, something of that sort. I'm not sure if they use that tag today, but we essentially went from 0 to having 0 sales a day to multiple sales a day, and then a lot of sales a day for a product that was one of the first that I had ever developed. And so that was super exciting for me, and also super fun just to take a product from nothing, from an idea, to being sold on Amazon, and then for it to be validated as one of the best new product launches in that specific product type. So that's been fun. And since then, I've used that process and that mindset to create other products that are in this brand that have really resonated well with the audience. And so for me, one of the biggest wins always in this type of business is creating a unique product, for me, with an element of design, launching it on Amazon, and then just seeing great feedback from customers that they really like it, and then to see sales just incrementally over time get larger and larger. So that's been a super fun aspect of working with this brand and these products.
Yeah, that's great. To get off to a flying start like that is what every Amazon seller dreams of. That must have been really exciting. On the flip side of the coin, what would you say was your biggest setback or challenge?
So the last 2 years specifically has clearly had a lot of challenges operationally for the entire e-commerce and FBA community. And we're certainly not immune to that. We've had some challenges with increase in freight costs, suppliers being shut down in China, which is where all of the product is produced. The other challenge with this specific type of brand is that we are highly seasonal. So a lot of our sales come in Q4. And so over the last 2 years, Amazon had instated inventory restrictions. And when the bulk of your sales come at the end of the year, there's clearly a significant increase in sales activity. And the way that Amazon had managed inventory restrictions is that the amount of inventory that you can send in is based on how much you had sold in the previous 30, 60, or 90 days. Well, when you're walking into holiday season and sales are about to 10x, then the inventory allotment from Amazon becomes very quickly insufficient. So the last couple of holiday seasons have been a little hectic with determining how to best get all of the most important inventory into Amazon when it needs to get there in order to sell. But clearly, as we're speaking in the second quarter of 2022, a lot of those problems have been alleviated. The cost of freight has started to come back down. Suppliers are more reliably open and operating and producing in China. And also our inventory allotment on Amazon it's gone up by, I think, like 5 to 6x as compared to the end of last year. So the second half of this year and moving forward in 2023 and beyond should be a lot easier from that standpoint. The other point that I'll touch on is that because these products are within the wine niche, some of our products have been discontinued or suspended from Amazon advertising over the last 12 to 24 months. They still have sales from organic traffic, but clearly when you're not able to add the amplification of advertising, it does impose some limitations on how much you're able to sell. So we've also been mitigating the challenges from that and just kind of working through some of those things as well.
Yeah, absolutely. As you said, the restrictions have made the last couple of years quite tough, but it's good to hear that there's a light at the end of the tunnel and a lot of that seems to be falling away. Digging down further into your business, I want to dive into where your traffic comes from. Do you use PPC or listing description SEO to drive traffic to your products?
I do. I use both Amazon advertising, so PPC essentially for some of the products, not all of them, but some of them, Amazon have deemed them inappropriate for Amazon advertising simply because they promote kind of niche wine related products. Again, nothing like grossly inappropriate, but just something that Amazon has specifically deemed that they don't want to allow advertising for. So for those specific products, we don't do any advertising for, and we rely solely on organic traffic, which we gain through listing optimization. And the other aspect of that is that actually all of the products that we sell are quite aged. A lot of them we launched 3, 4, 5 years ago. So a lot of them do organically rank well on Amazon. And again, that's how most of the sales come in. For the other products, we absolutely do utilize PPC advertising, specifically within Amazon, their sponsored products advertising. And that does gain traffic and sales in addition to organic traffic and listing optimization.
And Shelby, do you manage those PPC campaigns yourself, or do you have a media agency who handles that for you?
Nope, I actually do manage everything myself. For this brand, I don't have any employees. I don't have any contractors. I manage this fully by myself.
Awesome. Yeah. And do you do anything else in terms of marketing on social media, for example?
Currently, I don't do anything else for marketing. We do have a Facebook page with about 1,000 followers. I haven't utilized it within the last couple of years, but clearly there is the opportunity to use that moving forward. All of the followers there were gained organically just from posting wine memes and wine related content and amplifying it actually through promoted content on Amazon. So there is the opportunity for that as well. We just simply haven't used it in the last couple of years.
Sure. So drawing on that point of opportunities, what would you see as the major opportunities for growth with this business?
So a couple of things here. The first one is a really quick and easy win. I think that you can expand this brand to Canada, either with Amazon's NARF program, which if you're not familiar is the North American Remote Fulfillment, really just a few clicks of the button to begin selling in Canada. You could also potentially ship some of the items to FBA Canada. A lot of the stuff that we sell is relatively smaller in size. So for anyone here in the United States, it's relatively inexpensive to get goods up into FBA Canada. We didn't do this in the past, selling on Canada, simply because of the inventory restrictions that Amazon allotted us in the US marketplace. It was more advantageous for us to focus on just simply saturating everything that we could in the US marketplace. But now that a lot of those inventory challenges and restrictions have been cleared up, I do feel that expanding to Canada is a quick and easy win. The second one is developing new products. So I actually have a sample in my hands for a new product from one of our existing suppliers. I didn't launch it over the last couple of years, really because of the challenges with logistics and inventory restrictions at Amazon. But if I were to continue running this business, I would actually look to launch that specific product. And I think there are other types of products within that product type that could be a home run for the new owner of the business. And then really the third thing that I'll add here, for anyone that is knowledgeable and has expertise in expanding advertising and sales outside of the Amazon platform, that's clearly an opportunity. This brand does come with its own unique domain that we have not used at all. So you could potentially build out a sales channel on the .com, as well as expand advertising outside of Amazon. So one of the opportunities for the products that we're not able to advertise on Amazon, you could potentially advertise those on other social media platforms or any other avenues and expand sales that way. So those are really, I think, three of the biggest things that a new owner could do to expand this brand.
Fantastic. That's quite a diverse range of opportunities there that buyers can take advantage of. So that's fantastic. Shelby, we've mentioned inventory and logistics quite a bit. Can you walk us through what your supply chain looks like?
Yeah. All of our product is produced in China. We ship it over to the US using sea freight. I've been able to manage the inventory in the past to where we haven't needed to use air freight at all. Using sea freight keeps down our cost of goods sold. So it's shipped to the United States. In the past, we've shipped to one of three different locations. The first one is I'm currently utilizing a 3PL in Southern California, the Los Angeles area. So it can go into the 3PL, they will receive it, warehouse it, and then drip feed it into Amazon FBA as needed. The second option is to ship it directly into Amazon FBA direct from China. We haven't done that recently, again, because of some of the inventory restrictions that Amazon has placed on us. But again, now that those inventory restrictions have opened up quite a bit, there is the opportunity to ship direct into Amazon FBA. And then the third option that I've used over the last couple of years is shipping to my small warehouse in South Florida. So for some specific items, I've just kind of kept locally, and then I'll drip feed it into Amazon FBA as we need it.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you know what your current inventory limits are at Amazon warehouses?
Yeah. So currently it represents about 11 months worth of units sold as comparing sales quantity over the last 30 to 60 days. In absolute numbers, it's about inventory limit of 9,000 units, which is, again, sufficient for the next few months and even moving into the holiday season.
Okay, great. Yeah, it sounds like you're well prepared going forward. Your inventory that comes from China, do you ship that via air or by sea?
It's all by sea. It saves quite a bit of cost in freight to do it by sea rather than air. So that's what we've always opted to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And how long does it usually take to replenish your inventory?
Roughly, I'd say somewhere between maybe 80 to 110 days or so. The average is maybe coming in around 90. It's fluctuated a lot over the last couple of years with some of the shutdowns in China. But now that things are getting more normalized, I would put the average back to around 90 days or so.
Okay, great. And how often are you in contact with your suppliers?
Every couple months, either to place reorders of existing product or to work on new product samples and just to review new opportunities.
Great. Yeah. So, Shelby, can you walk us through what your typical work week looks like for you when running this business?
Yep. So my total time involvement, I would say, is somewhere between maybe 4 to 7, 8, maybe 10 hours a week if it's nearing the holiday season. And it's really pretty standard operational activities, checking inventory, drip feeding inventory from my local warehouse or the 3PL into Amazon, reviewing the advertising campaigns, making optimizations to keywords or bidding or any of that sort of stuff, reviewing the listings to make sure that they're optimized properly for traffic, and then just other little one-off activities that come up, maybe responding to a customer every now and then, or just anything else that Amazon kind of puts on our plate. But overall time involvement is relatively minimal, I'd say.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, you've been running this business for a couple of years now, so it sounds like you've really fine-tuned a lot of those processes.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest challenges that a buyer might encounter when taking over this business?
So this business in the past has been highly seasonal. Anytime that you are working specifically with a seasonal brand, I think there are challenges with when to order inventory and also the big question of how much. Because most of our sales come in Q4, it's really, really important to make sure that you get your inventory ordering right. If you order way too much, then it's likely that it's going to be sitting in a warehouse somewhere accruing inventory costs until next holiday season. So one of the challenges with this type of business is just making sure that you get your inventory ordering right. And then the second aspect of that is just making sure that the owner is finding any and all opportunities for getting product in front of customers. So clearly having some limitations with Amazon's advertising represents a challenge. But again, in my opinion and in my view, if someone is skilled with finding other avenues for placing advertising, then a lot of that challenge is significantly mitigated.
Yeah, certainly. And how much support are you willing to offer buyers to help them navigate these challenges?
I'm happy to do regular calls or email support for 30 or 60 days, even 90 potentially after the sale. At the end of the day, I don't want to exactly define it because I want the new owner to be successful and happy with this brand. I do have a little bit of an emotional attachment to this brand. I kind of think of it as my baby. It was one of the first that I developed. So 30, 60 days, I think, is reasonable post-sale support. And I'm willing to work with the new owner. At the end of the day, I want them to be happy and successful.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think buyers will be very grateful for that. When it comes to the sale of the business, are you open to negotiating something like an earnout?
I'm willing to review any and all offers, including those with an earnout. With a brand of this size, I do prefer a cash offer, but I am willing to review other offers as well.
Fantastic. And would you commit to a non-compete agreement?
Yes, absolutely.
Wonderful. So, Shelby, what advice would you give to our listeners that you wish you knew when you first started out in e-commerce?
The advice that I would give, and this is really the way of the future, I would say, in e-commerce, is to make sure that you are developing differentiated product. I think that's one of the biggest opportunities and one of the biggest things that I wish that I had known a decade ago. When you're creating your own products that are differentiated between other brands and then can be clearly distinguished, then you give yourself a leg up and a better opportunity for success because no one is offering that specific product. And again, that's what I've tried to do with this brand. And that's also what I've learned is that once I began creating my own unique products with its own unique angle to it, again, my angle has been having an element of design, that's when my brands and my products have really been able to scale in a meaningful way. So I always encourage anyone, whether they're just getting started or trying to scale their existing brand, create something unique and make sure that your value proposition is clearly illustrated and on full blast for every shopper, no matter the platform, Amazon or any other. Make sure it's on blast for all customers to see.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. It's definitely important to stand out from the crowd there. Shelby, that leads us to the final question of the interview, probably the most important one. If you had to put yourself into the shoes of a buyer, why do you think your business is a business worth buying?
I think the brand in this business it's honestly just a lot of fun to operate for those that enjoy wine. The products are differentiated and unique. So we are offering something that no one else is offering. So it also gives more of a moat, so to say, protection on the brand for the future. The products are aged. A lot of them I launched 3 to 4, maybe even 5 years ago. They have, some of them, hundreds of reviews. Average review or rating is 4.5 stars and up on many of them. The holiday season is always fun. You go from a period of sales essentially, 10xing within the course of a week or two, which is always fun to see. And it's almost kind of like you get a year-end bonus. And then the last thing is that it's pretty simple and easy to operate. Like I said, I don't spend a tremendous amount of time on the operations of the business. So it could be great for someone that maybe has a full-time job or maybe is looking to fit an existing brand into their current brand portfolio. It could fit a lot of different avenues. So, it's a lot of fun. It makes great money in the holiday season. And, it's a pretty simple business to operate, I'd say.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like a very streamlined business. Shelby, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners that I might have missed?
I don't think so. I think we covered a lot. I'm excited to talk to some interested buyers. And my number one goal is that I would find a new owner for this business that is passionate about wine and is really looking to take this to the next level. And I'd love to see my baby thrive in the hands of someone new.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for coming onto the show, Shelby, and giving us a bit more insight into you and your business. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Anytime. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this listing has already been sold, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for listing number 60301. If you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you unlock this business, you'll be given everything you need to know. So until next time, enjoy your digital journey.